Welcome to the Bluejuju Podcast, brought to you by Bluejuju.com. My name is Jonas, and I'm here with my co-host, Ron. How you doing today, sir?
Great.
We're got another exciting podcast lined up for you. Isn't that right, sir?
Every time.
Every time. So, I guess if you're not familiar with the podcast, this is what we do. We go on the internet and we find the weird and obscene, and we bring it to you for your entertainment. And we have it broken down into a couple different categories. And our very first category is called headlines.
Headlines we deem important.
Okay. Well, our friends P.E.T.A are in the news again.
Yeah, I heard about them.
People eating tasty animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there are no bounds to their shenanigans. In Irvine, California, P.E.T.A wants a memorial installed on the road about a death. Of course, it's not a human death. It seems a truckload of fish was on its way to another facility, another farm, to be fattened up before they were taken off to market, and they crashed, and the fish died. It's a terrible thing.
Oh, fish? Fish aren't animals.
Fish are mighty tasty critters.
Well, they're the only thing I don't feel bad about killing, because like you kind of caught it trying to kill something, you know. So it got caught in its own little trap there.
Well, yeah, they're about the furthest away that you can, get from, PETA, if they want to consider it, animal rights and all. I mean, they eat vegetables, but the vegetables were probably pesticides were probably used at least around those vegetables to keep the animal insects from eating them. So they should feel very guilty for eating vegetables or anything else, because
Well, a lot of them don't. They won't have anything to do with anything that has animal byproduct. But they're also pretty big hypocrites. I've gone over this before. But also in the news, PETA was they were showing like pictures of naked women and things like that, or almost naked women. And this happened like just this week. But it was it was a woman on the front of a cover, and but it said something about fur. But the woman had like she hadn't shaved. She had pubic hair, a lot of pubic hair, and
very hairy,
but she was like a supermodel, you know.
Right.
And they said something about fur is not fashionable or something like that. But this is one of their campaigns that they're going on. But they say, hey, sex sells, and if this is what we got to do to get attention for the cause, then they feel like it's worth it. So that's what they do.
It's the old bait and switch.
Yeah, well, it was on the cover of whatever magazine. I don't even know what magazine it was, or maybe not on the cover, but it was in the magazine. But yeah, that was one of their little ploys that and this is not the first time they've done it. But as far as using, provocative ads to gain attention for their causes. But like I said, also PETA is huge hypocrites when it comes to that. Like the vice president of their company, she has diabetes. Mm-hmm. And she, in her past statements, she's denounced anybody using animal products, animal anything. It's murder on this and murder on that. We can't use animal testing, this kind of thing. And but the thing is, the diabetes medicine is actually, it's derived directly from animal products, but she uses that to keep herself alive. But she, that's okay. But it's not okay for anybody else to use animal products for any other, kind of thing. And like I said, it's a whole corrupt organization. They have people that go out and bomb places and like terrorist attacks, or against animal shelters, kill shelters, that kind of thing.
And then they probably celebrate and go out and have a burger, right?
Well, more than likely, But they carry out atrocities to suit their own needs, and then they say they're right and they rationalize it that way, I suppose. But yeah, PETA, bad PETA. But shame on you. Since we're talking about animals, I don't really classify this as an animal.
Okay.
But it's a tick, obviously. Yeah, but apparently this, I believe it's some kind of like sugar tick or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it. I can bring it up right here. Basically, what this tick does, it carries a virus or a enzyme, and when it bites you, your antibodies go after it, and your immune system forms a immunity to it.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, it's something to do with the sugars that are in your body. So after you get bit by this tick, whenever you get bit or eat red meat, red meat had the same kind of enzymes, and so your body automatically thinks that it's that enzyme.
It's the tick.
So after you get bit by this tick, you can no longer eat red meat again. It makes you allergic to red meat.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Better not tell PETA this. They'll be growing them ticks.
Well, the thing is, you can still eat non-mammal. Just non-mammal, so you can still eat fish and chicken and that kind of stuff. But for some reason, red meat, it puts. Okay, I can read a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Well, this is a guy's story about how he got bit by this tick, and then he ate a hamburger, but you break out in hives. Your body goes into shock. You swell up, and you just it's the kind of sugars that red meat that has is the same kind of antibodies your body built up after this tick bit you. So it's one of the first of its kind as far as a bug carrying a virus that
that forces you to eat healthy.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just eat healthy, but yeah, it's pretty weird. But people all over the place, they're just it wouldn't be a bad thing. It would actually solve a lot of problems as far as like emissions, like methane emissions, that kind of thing. But it would also put a lot of people out of jobs.
Maybe this is a conspiracy.
It's possible. But if everybody in the world got infected by it, it actually wouldn't be a bad thing. It'd be a bad thing for some people, like dairy farmers and stuff like that. But it would actually be better for the earth. So maybe the earth itself is manufacturing this to make us stop eating red meat.
Or some cow loving dude in India.
It's they trace the tick back. I mean, it's a legitimate. It's a tick.
It's a legitimate tick, and it's a natural occurrence. Is what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
But a strange one at that.
Yeah. Well, because usually when bugs bite you and you get an immunity to their venom, it attacks us. It doesn't attack the sugar cells or something like that. It attacks like I don't know. There's some part of the immune system. I can't explain it fully.
Right.
But it's the first one that does this. That they found that where.
Wow.
Will cause a problem like that.
I'm gonna have to look in that further. That's quite interesting. But as you say, it might be a reaction. Sometimes problems tend to work themselves out. If this reaction was communicable or became communicable by some other vector like a mosquito, then
it would spread a lot
faster.
Right,
it might spread worldwide.
But it also, like I said, it wouldn't be a bad thing. It'd be a bad thing for a couple people, but in the scheme of things, people could lay off the red meat and it probably wouldn't hurt.
I wonder if you talk to one of those PETA guys, and you give them the question, okay, there's this stinking tick that's biting you, or the mosquito that's going after you. What do you do? I mean, this is a moral dilemma because these are animals. You know, I mean, for them it's a moral dilemma. For me, it's no brainer.
Well, they're insects technically.
Animals, nonetheless.
I don't know. Yeah, draw the line somewhere.
Well, they want to stretch it. They want to stretch the lines and the boundaries. They want to keep stretching the lines and the boundaries. So, you know, I mean.
Well, I don't have anything against animal rights, but
well, neither do I.
I do have.
To a degree.
I do have a infliction against PETA. I don't like their organization. I think they're corrupt, and
well,
they're like a right wing religious group that that's thinks their way's right and wants to impress their values upon you. You know. Right.
You're exactly right. They've made a religion out of quote unquote defending animals. It's very strange.
So if there's any people out there that's listening that are a part of PETA, fuck you.
Go get a life.
Yeah, right.
Find something else to do. Yeah, obviously you don't have a life because,
I hate
you. Spend way too much time on this
You're
stuff.
Filth.
Godless filth you are.
God hates PETA.
God. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I know you got a story. It's lined up for me.
Oh yeah. Well, it's hard. It's not quite as fantastic as the tick, but it's strange nonetheless. A man in I won't even try. Attleboro. I can't even pronounce it. Massachusetts. A Rhode Island man was arrested there for passing counterfeit dollar bills. He did it on 3 different occasions. But what alerted the people to the fact that the bills he was trying to pass were counterfeit? He got the wrong face on the $100 bill. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were $1 bills.
Nope, 100.
Oh.
He put President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the 100.
Oh,
okay. It's on the 5.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin's on the 100.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that'll do it every time.
Yeah.
Did he even
it was
look?
A tip-off.
That's a horrible counterfeiter. And like you take all this time and effort to do it, and you would think that you would know what you're doing at least. Well, maybe was he printing both? Was he printing $5 bills and $100 bills? Because maybe he just got it mixed up. It was like he was like one got crossed over and
They didn't. Dana Leland of Central Falls, Rhode Island. But they only held him on a $1,000 cash bond. Yeah, I wonder if he paid with counterfeit bills or not.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, he should.
He should do some little research.
Yeah, definitely. I put a little pride in your work, guy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they said that he was struggling with a drug and alcohol problem. Apparently, his drugs and alcohol softened up his brain enough that he forgot which portrait he should have put on the counterfeit. Yeah.
Well,
it happens, I guess.
You can't explain stupidity away. And he's probably kicking himself right now. Saying, "Oh,
The amazing part is that they let him go. I don't know what that's a federal offense.
Yeah, that's a federal offense.
Maybe they booked him on state charges, and I don't know if the federal charges, they would have let him go or not. I don't know. I'm not a counterfeiter and never will be, so I don't really care.
Yeah, I know it's a federal crime, but I don't know, how strict they are. They used to be fairly strict, but there was a guy that put together. It was a huge festival, kind of like Woodstock.
Right.
But he did the whole thing on counterfeit bills, pretty much. And
nice.
Yeah, and when he got caught. And he had a large counterfeit operation. When he got caught, he got out. I think he only spent like 5 years in jail, and it was
it was massive.
It was a massive project that he had been developed on. So I mean, apparently it's not a slap on the wrist. I mean, 5 years is 5 years, but you would think,
right?
Printing money.
Yeah, who knows how much he printed and how much he stashed away of the real stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, strange.
But I do have another story.
All right.
Speaking of money.
Money.
There was some good news, kind of. A Kansas robber recognizes the victim. Because, let me give you a little rundown here.
Mm-hmm.
This gentleman runs into this guy and he says, "Give me your money, your wallet, your cell phone, and all your possessions."
Uh-huh.
And as he's sticking them up, he realized, "Hey, I know this guy."
Oh.
They served time together.
Yeah.
They were both prison inmates.
Okay.
And the robber recognized the victim and gave him his wallet back. Yeah. So, a Wichita, Kansas man was reported 2 young men approached him on a street on Wednesday, one of them brandishing a large semi-automatic handgun. Wichita police, Joe Schroeder, said the gunman demanded the victim's phone and his wallet, while the second man searched for it through his pocket. Schroeder said then the second man realized he had spent time in prison with him. He apologized, shook hands, and walked away.
Well,
he was going to rob him. But,
right,
then he was like, well, so who says there's no
honesty
among thieves there?
Well, yeah, in any situation that you bring people together, you have some camaraderie that develops. It has to, or, they're at odds with others in a very...
Well, the good news is the man got his wallet back.
Right. My question is that, if that was the case, then if there's that much camaraderie, why did the guy even report it? Was he trying to get the guy arrested, or was the guy arrested because of it?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
I guess the guy had reported it, so...
Hey, somebody tried to steal my wallet, but I was in jail with him, so I ain't telling you the names.
Yeah. No, I don't
or
know.
something.
I don't know if they caught the guy or not, but this is the story they printed.
Well, I'm sure it's true, but the guy that got held up, I mean, if it was his buddy and cellmate, I mean, forgive and forget, Well, I don't know.
you would think so, but maybe the guy that was getting robbed, never liked that guy. He thought he was a douchebag in jail.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, he was a douchebag in jail, and now he's still out here being a douchebag. I'm going to report him. So
this is true. He might have held a jailhouse grudge.
Perhaps he found God outside, and he was like, well, you know what? I can't have this guy running around. I can't have him running around robbing people. So I'm going to report him.
Yeah, maybe the second guy that actually had some money, had a job, and was trying to become a responsible citizen.
That's right.
So that's quite possible. Yeah.
But I guess that's going to do it for our headlines.
Okay.
But
we got others.
Oh, do we have others? We like to do a little segment every week, testing what's out there, what's new, and we call it space news and technology.
Yeah.
Space news
and technology.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I'm kind of stuck in a little bit of the mundane here. My other one, I think I'm going to go to outer space, but technology is neither good nor bad. It's how you use it. It can be good or bad, or in this case, just plain stupid. One of my beefs with cell phones is that, okay, you can listen to the radio, you can take pictures, you can da-da-da-da-da, on and on and on, but it digresses into the stupid. They now, a Swift company called Blackouts offers a app that you can electronically tag your socks so they can be automatically sorted, so you don't have to worry about mismatching your socks anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if I had a cell phone, smartphone, I'd rush out to get that app. If you do get that app,
you're the only person. I mean, the last person that's never had one. I'm just throwing that out there.
if you do get that app, don't ever talk to me. And especially don't talk to me if you get this next app. I got 3 of them here that are really good. The iPoo app, reported Wired magazine, lets you chat with your fellow defecators from the comfort of your own toilet.
Sweet. So whenever you're taking a deuce, you can just go ahead and talk to other people that are taking a deuce.
Right, and on the phone, or maybe you can text them. Oh, I had a good one. Oh, that.
That's technology for you.
Yeah, that's technology.
Moving people forward.
Right forward, yeah, right down the toilet, I think. And not to leave women out, there's now a Harvard freshman, Olenka, Polaka, Polaka, I don't know, invented the Code Red app that creates an exchange network so that women and girls who find themselves unexpectedly spotting can locate an emergency source of tampons.
Nice.
Or pads.
There you go. Problem solved.
I'm telling you, this is.
There you go. Yeah, that's technology.
How did people ever live without? I think maybe I want the Brain app that gives people a little common sense. Yeah, if you could download that to your iPhone.
They got all kinds of apps though, and they're mainly out there for people come up with an idea for an app and they think they're gonna make $1 million on it, like Angry Birds or something, and that's why there's so many out there. Is like because you can make as many apps as you want. They're fairly easy to write as far as the code goes. There's I think there's even apps to write apps. So just saying.
There you go. That's what you need to do. The app writer.
I'm pretty sure it's already out there.
It's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there. Yeah. Okay. No, it's just it boggles the mind that people waste their time on this stuff.
Well, I guess this is whatever makes you happy.
I guess some people will have more time to waste than I do. I mean, if I'm going to waste time, and I do, but okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I'm just saying. If it makes you happy, go for it. You feel like you ever been put in that situation where you need to find a tampon? Well, there you go. Anyway,
the pads make good bandages.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Space news.
Yeah.
Technology. A planet has been found. I like to do these new planet ones. For some reason, they intrigue me. But
right.
But this planet is unlike other planets that have been discovered. Science fiction has dreamed of a diamond planet for many years, so it's amazing that we finally found the evidence that one exists in the universe. Just recently, they've discovered a planet. It's called. Okay, the guy that found it was named Nikki Madasiston. I don't know. Sounds Arab, but apparently this planet exists, and they assume that it had high carbon, just basically a carbon planet. It's about the size of Earth, but it's mostly constructed of diamond.
All right.
Pure diamond. So, and it's only 40 light years away in the northern constellation of Cancer. So there it is.
Very nice.
So at least we know where they are. We just can't get to them.
Well, there's going to be somebody going for that. They're going to create a spaceship to get the heck out there to find them that diamond planet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be worth it, that's for sure. But they say basically the whole crust of the planet is constructed purely of diamonds. So there you go.
Really?
Yeah. And like I said, he says it's a little bit bigger than Earth. So if you think about it, diamonds are not a rare commodity anymore. Just can't get to them.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And hey, if you could get to them with a spaceship, you would spend a heck of a lot more than they were worth to get there. So I'm gonna say that that's pretty interesting.
It was found in the same galaxy as that one planet I was talking about yesterday or last podcast, so the one that's identical to Earth. They found 3 identical Earth or possible Earths in that solar system. This was one of them. The other one, obviously, it says it's almost the exact match, except for it's 2 times the size. And then there's another planet out there in the same zone.
Okay. In the space news, they recently said that they found stars that they believe they're older than the than the Big Bang, what they considered as the age of the Big Bang. So it's either they have misjudged the age of the stars, or the Big Bang is older than that. In a related thing in space news, they figure that the farthest reaching galaxies are receding from us at 90% of the speed of light. So I'd say that the universe is probably a lot bigger than we think it is, and those are just the stars that they can, the galaxies that they can see. You know, that's the farthest reaches they can see. And obviously, if there's others that are further out, they can't see them. So, hey, they have no idea how old the universe is or how big it is.
Yeah,
How's that?
Well, they never did.
No, they didn't.
They tell you that too. They don't know how big it is and they don't know how old it is.
Right.
But
they speculate that it's this old or this big, but yeah.
But in technology news, good old where did I get this? NewYork.com, right off the NBC website.
Right.
Apparently, there has an invisibility cloak has been invented.
Mm-hmm.
The inventors have been working on this for a while now, but the researchers with Duke University discovered a way to tweak an existing technology. The theory is that the invisibility can be achieved using minerals or meteorals or whatever they're called, man-made materials that bend electromagnetic waves like visible light around an object. Unfortunately, it's like a wall. It's 100%. It 100% cloaks a object, but you can only. It's like putting a wall in front of it, so you can see it from the back, but you can't see it from the front. So if your back was against a wall and you put it in front of you, then no one would be able to see it or see around it. But as soon as you look around the device, then you obviously you see what's going on there. But it's been the first invisibility cloak ever made that gives 100% invisibility.
Interesting. Well, that's one of the dreams of alchemists and sorcerers and everything else, and obviously it's got military applications to be invisible. I'd say that there's at least 2 or 3 ways to do it. Back in the 80s, or was it in the 90s? I considered that if you, and they've done it, they have invisible cars and stuff like that. What they do is they have miniature cameras that.
Yeah, they already had that technology, but this one's utilizing microwaves and electromagnetic fields, and it can, like I said, it's 100%.
The Predators type stuff.
Yeah,
right?
This is the real deal, kind of. At this point,
the Klingon cloaking device.
Yeah, at this point, it can only cloak. It can only cloak smaller objects, and it can, like I said, the angle thing is off. They want to be able to have it completely invisible, but they're working on it.
Well, it's rumored, and I've seen things on YouTube. Of course, you can make anything with a digital image. You can do anything you want, but it's rumored that those cloaks are already in existence. I have no idea if they are or not. I'm sure that aliens have them, and possibly some military organizations have them. P.E.T.A has them.
We don't know why. We haven't figured that out yet. We're getting to the bottom of it.
Heaven help us if P.E.T.A does get that technology.
Fuck you, P.E.T.A.
You open that can of animal product, I'm killing you. You're dead.
Yeah,
I'm running around with my cloak of invisibility.
They would use it for their own evil purposes, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, they would probably use it for stupid purposes.
That's right. Save the Fish Foundation.
Right, like white trash with lotto money.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I can say that because I'm white, see?
Yeah, sure. That doesn't offend anybody, but that's okay.
Nah.
That's okay. We don't care if we offend someone. No one watches us anyway.
I'm PC. Oh, yeah, I've checked, yeah. I got the thing right here. Yeah.
But I believe that is going to do it for space news and technology. Once a week, we like to grab the strangest story that's in the newspaper news, connect it to a state, and do battle, and we call it strangest state in the union.
And now, the strangest state in the union.
Okay, well, I've been easy on you so far. These last
yeah, you have.
you know, winning them all. You know, taking you down.
If anybody would like to see the sarcasm, you can go ahead and listen to our previous podcast and see the clusterfuck that Ron has presented for Battle of the States. But continue, sir.
No. Well, it's got to be this woman here.
Okay.
She's and it's Arizona.
All right. Fire away. I'm ready.
This poor lady here. Look at her. Look at her poor face there. Oh, she's just distraught.
Absolutely hideous.
Yeah, well, yeah. In more ways than one. Holly Solomon was arrested. She's 28. Her husband is 36, and I say was because she ran over him. She hurt him badly. He was in critical condition. He's expected to survive, but guess why she ran him over? I mean, there's not too many things. I mean, was he cheating on her? Yeah. Oh, you saw that? You saw it, huh? You had the same one.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I took it away from you. That's good. You can't top that. Can't top this.
No, tell the rest of your story. Continue, sir.
She ran him over because he wouldn't vote. Right. She was so upset about the election of Barack Obama, the re-election of Barack Obama. She considers that Mitt Romney was the only hope for the U.S. and things are going to be so bad that she was really, really upset that her husband didn't vote. Mm-hmm. So they had an argument outside of some establishment in the parking lot, and she proceeded to get in her car and chase him around the parking lot with her car. Mm-hmm. And he hid behind a light pole, but then she got him when he tried to make a dash for another safe place. She nailed him.
Yeah, I heard about that. And that was where?
That's in Arizona.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Sad lady.
Yeah, it is a sad lady. No, I did have the same one, but luckily enough, I have a backup. Because I don't get caught unprepared, sir. Anywho's, there's a man in Flagler County. I don't know if you know where Flagler County is if you're listening to us, but it's close to Daytona Beach. And a lot of weird news has been coming out of there, and this is Florida, obviously.
Yeah.
But this gentleman,
okay,
there were some cows that got onto his property.
Cows.
Yeah, and he said that they started eating his horse feed. So, as one does, he fires off birdshot at these cows. That's what he thought anyway. And then so his neighbor heard a ruckus. Yeah. And realized his gate was open and his cows had gotten out. Yeah. So he went over to his neighbor's house and realized the guy had shot 6 of his cows in the head and then wounded 2 other ones, right?
With birdshot.
The guy claimed that he was using birdshot, but he was actually using a shotgun at point-blank range and took down all these cows because these cows ate his horse feed.
Yeah.
And... Yeah, that's that. But when the cops came, cops came to
arrest him. Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't arrest him.
They didn't.
No, that's what makes it a strange state in the union.
Oh, okay.
But no, the gentleman, like I said, he said that the cows were on his property and they had ate his horse feed, so he had the right to put those
them down.
Well, he said that he had tried to shoo them away and that didn't work, so he shot them. And apparently, in Florida, you have the right to do that
on your own property.
So. This gentleman took out, I guess, 6 cows, and it was perfectly okay. And when the cops did get him for some, no, they didn't. They knocked on his door, and he acted like he wasn't home the first time.
Yeah.
And then when they came back, he answered the door, and they were, it was like messing with an investigation or something like that, or some.
obstructing
an investigation by not answering the door, whatever.
They knew it was there. Right?
Yeah, so they got him for that, but they
didn't get him for the cows.
They get him for the cows because in Florida, it's the strangest state in the union. You can kill anything on your property, apparently.
Well, I wonder what P.E.T.A would say. I mean, maybe they should get involved.
Oh, I think so. Maybe someone should call P.E.T.A. But yeah, but it was a little bit weird because the guy said, "Well, I just fired off bird shot," but it wasn't bird shot. It was
right.
And he killed 6 cows. He shot them all in the head. So
he killed those frickin' cows, right?
Yeah. So, Florida, strangest state in the union. There you go.
Well, sorry to take your most strange thing. We both agree. So,
yeah. Well, it was pretty strange. It was funny too, so that's why I figured I'd go ahead and bring it up. But like I said, I had a backup, so it wasn't a big deal.
I'm gonna have to pursue that line of thought myself. I have that lurking fear in the back of my mind that you'll take my, maybe that's why next time you ought to go first, or,
Yeah, but then you would have been scrambling around. You would have been like, well, that was mine.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have had one.
Well, that's very, very egalitarian of you. Yeah, that's right. It's friendly camaraderie here.
There you go.
Friendly camaraderie, friendly adversarial relationship, at least on Battle of the States.
That's right. But if you'd like to vote on which one you think is stranger, you can head over to the website bluejuju.com, and we have a message board underneath there. All you do is go to the front page. There's a button there. It says View Live Vodcast, and you go directly there, and you can leave a message underneath the board.
Right.
And you can say, hey, I think the cow one's weirder.
I think we both had some dang weird news today.
Yeah, we sure did. All right, well, I guess we're moving on, and but I guess it's time for Conspiracy Corner.
Ooh.
And we don't have a clip for that, but we do have our mascot for Conspiracy Corner, and that's
Strange Baby.
Hitler Baby.
Strange Hitler Baby.
There he is. Hitler Baby.
He's coming up.
Scary guy.
Oh, there he is. I'm scared to death.
That's right.
Well, I it's just like weird news. You never run out of conspiracies. They just keep popping up all the time. I mean, the more you dig, the stranger the universe and the world is.
This is true.
You gotta just revel in the strangeness of it all. I mean, people in actuality, sometimes they don't want to know what's going on because sometimes they feel that it's too overwhelming. But my theory is that the more you know, the better that you can deal with your future and your future ideas.
Knowledge is power. G.I. Joe.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, take a pick. The past or the present? Which would you on the conspiracy type things? I got 2 of them here. What do you want?
I don't care.
You don't care? Okay, the
it's
first,
either one. It's your pick. Okay. That's why you pick the stories.
Okay. Well, I'm saving these up now. I'm gonna start a file. Save up the good stuff. Okay. Here's a little fact for you. Every year, kids in North America spend close to $500 million on chewing gum. Okay. Well, what's the conspiracy behind that, you say? What's the conspiracy? Well, here it is, folks. You cannot buy chewing gum. They say chewing gum. Now, bubble gum, that's a different story. And maybe this will continue on into bubble gum. You cannot now buy chewing gum that has sugar in it. It all has aspartame.
Oh, yes, you're a big component of non-aspartame.
Well, especially for children, because it's far worse for children than it is adults because they're forming. All poisons are more deleterious to children in their formative stage than they are adults. Adults can handle a lot more poisons in the environment than children can, and still, function and be fairly, right physiologically and
Is it
psychologically.
cheaper? Is it cheaper to make it with aspartame?
I'm gonna say probably not. I'm just gonna guess because sugar is a very, it's a plant-derived thing. You have to actually manufacture aspartame. You have to,
But is it cheaper to manufacture something, or is it cheaper to have a field, employees, all that kind of stuff,
well,
or import it?
you have a point there. I was trying to figure out why, because hey, when I was a kid, I used to use one of my favorite things was juicy fruit gum, and I've always had a soft spot, gum,
Right.
and my heart for juicy fruit gum. I like the flavor. I have good memories of it. And then about 3-4 years, I don't know exactly at what time, but in the past, I got a pack of juicy fruit gum. I was gonna go on a diet or whatever. Popped it in my mouth, and this tastes like kind of strange. I mean, it doesn't have the same flavor that
Not the same recipe.
Yeah, and so I look at it, and there's no sugar in it. It's all aspartame. So, I'm just gonna guess, and sugar is cheap. I mean, I'm thinking that it's cheaper than aspartame. So that's why I'm calling it conspiracy.
Well, I know when they manufacture things on large scales. I'm not taking away from it at all. So, I don't. If it's dangerous, obviously it shouldn't be in any kind of food, and I'm a total component of that. But I know that even Coca-Cola doesn't use real sugar anymore because it's too expensive.
Costly, yeah.
Too expensive to
Corn
manufacture,
syrup,
so
right.
they use corn syrup.
Right.
And so
Well,
so apparently it's not as cheap to use sugar apparently.
Well, I'd have to do a little research on that. The only thing that I can come up with is that it probably has almost an unlimited shelf life because it's not anything that would degrade over a period of time, or
That probably has something to do with it too.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not for the consumer's convenience or health that they have substituted sugar with aspartame.
Yeah, well, since when has any company been looking out for the consumer?
Well, that's true, but if it kind of goes against the idea of if you got customers, you want them to give them a good product, and you want them to return. You don't want to cause them health problems, but apparently not.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know of any. Well, sure, yeah, this is conspiracy.
The chewing gum conspiracy. You heard it here first.
That's right. I have a conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
It's about recent news.
Okay.
I like to follow closely on the new laws that are being passed in our country.
Oh yeah.
Or not laws per se, but things that get passed that I think are intriguing. The P.E.T.A laws. I've said it before.
Yeah.
That just recently got passed in Colorado and Washington.
Right.
Well, they passed it state law, right? And obviously it's still legal federal law.
Right.
And after it got passed at the election time. So I mean, no one, as far as anybody in the government, they weren't in a good position to rally against it and put pressure on governors and things like that to get it repealed or anything. But obviously, as soon as the elections are over, they're gonna put the squeeze on it because they don't want this. Federal law doesn't want they don't want the states to have the right to be able to make their own laws. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, in this new event,
right.
The banks are going to be they're not allowed to lend money to any of these
pot growers,
anybody that's not a supply pot, because it's they're federally insured. Well, the federal government's trying to put pressure on any bank that lends any kind of money towards any of these pot organizations, because they're obviously, since it's legal, what they want to do is they want to sell it. That's right, and it'll boost economy and all that good stuff. But what they're trying to do is stop it right at the place where you would start a business. So they say any banks being caught giving money out to any organization that's going to start, even though it's state law,
right?
Because the banks are federally insured, the government says they will put stringent fines and regulations on any bank that's going to lend money to start a pot outcrop.
Right. Well, I'll say,
and that's just the beginning.
Right. I'll say two things. Let's just put aside whether pot is good or bad. All right. Let's just put that aside. Number one, if you look at it from a business point of view, they're trying to keep small business from being created. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the people that have the money, that have the cash, they will start their grow businesses or whatever. They're already set up, most of them anyway. So it just keeps the small guy out of the playing field. Number two, in 2008, it's a little known fact, but the narco dollars propped up the banking system to the point that if they hadn't have been in the system, then that crash would have been as bad as the crash of 1929. Little known fact. But another fact is that a lot of money laundering has gone on with narco dollars in the U.S., outside of the U.S., internationally. Known fact.
Right.
Look it up.
Well, yeah, but and like I said, this is just the very beginning of. Well, they said as soon as it got passed, what they were going to do is they're going to start putting pressure on governors of the state, and it said they will repeal funding, that kind of thing, and they want to get the whole thing repealed. But there is a website out there that all the petitions have already been signed. Within a day, they got 25,000 signed.
Right.
But basically, the danger of this is when the government steps in and starts
taking away states'
rights. Well, then, not needless to say, if it's just pot, if it's anything, if they come in and decide that in your state you have a huge problem with shooting wolves, there's too many wolves, right? And you're saying, okay, well now it's legal to kill off as many wolves as possible because they're harming people or whatever.
Right.
And the federal law says, well, you can't make your own law. You don't have to get eaten by these wolves because it's federal law that you don't kill them. And so it's now they're stepping in and saying anything you guys say is not correct. You can't govern yourselves as state law.
You're exactly right, and power grabs by the federal government are just that. If states don't have the right to govern themselves, then they're not states, are they?
No. Well, the government is a business, and
right,
we pay
the state government is a business,
and
right.
Well, we pay them to run our country.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the way you should look at it.
Right.
And the thing is, like, when they start to overstep boundaries, when they're not working for the people, obviously. They're working in special interest groups, which has been going on forever. I'm not just screaming from a soapbox about that. I mean, that's been going on for as long as there was government. But when you start taking away little things, little things like it's written to the Constitution that states have the right to govern themselves.
Right.
It's written to the Constitution that way. And if you start to repeal little actions like that, then
Well, what they're saying is that you voters there, you and the you people in those states,
you guys are stupid.
Yeah,
you don't know what you want.
you don't know what you want. Actually, we'll tell you what you want, and this is what you want because this is what we want. So therefore, it makes it what you want. You don't have any. There's nothing about your locality that's special. It's just another part of not the United States, just the corporation of the state.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's if you guys are living in Colorado or Washington, you should be pissed. I would be. If they're it's gone through at this point in time, but they're trying as hard as they can to repeal it. They're trying to put as much pressure on it as possible because they don't want the other states to go and do the same thing. But it's already on a lot of the ballots. I think there's 11 other states that want to do it. So.
Well, since I don't do drugs, I don't care.
Well, I don't either. But the thing is, like, obviously it's stupid, and the reason they're doing this is to protect jobs that people have in the prison systems. Because having marijuana illegal keeps these jobs going, but you can't. If a system's broken, you can't continue to use the system
Right.
just to save, something has to change.
Right.
And this is what's going to bring about change.
Well, when I said I didn't care, then what I was going to do is say pretty much exactly the same thing as you said. There is an industry grown up around the fact that marijuana is illegal.
Right.
And this industry is a prison industry, a law enforcement industry, a money-making industry to keep it illegal. And there are vested interests to keep it illegal because it is a big moneymaker for the prison system, since probably about 50% of the people in there are in there for smoking pot.
Yeah. Well, I actually did read one account where in Colorado, anyone within the month that was going to court
Right.
for a possession of marijuana charge, the case is thrown out because they don't want to waste the time of the people, basically, because
Right.
this law is going to go through in about 2 weeks. I mean, it's already been passed, but it's going to be
Right.
Mandate within 2 weeks. And they said, so anybody that's been caught as of a month, had a court date within a month,
Right.
is being released of charges. But people in jail that have
Right.
that have been caught with pot, they're not getting out. It's because it was illegal, but they still broke the law when it was legal. So, or when it was illegal. So they're not getting out. But anybody that is about to go in, their charges are dropped.
Right. Well, the thing about it is anybody, you can talk to anybody that knows anything about it, and the sentiment against it is turning rapidly in that direction. The war on drugs is a phony war.
Well, yeah.
It's a phony war. It's been co-opted by elements that they know it's a phony war. Actually, they play both sides against the middle. It's amazing,
All it's done is hurt people. Like,
Right.
For the most part. I mean, I don't know of any positive, change that it's made.
Well, on the positive side, it's made some people very, very rich. It's made them rich if they own private jails. It's enriched certain politicians. It's enriched a criminal element.
I'm saying as society, there's nothing that society has gained. There might be individuals that prosper from it, but as far as when you put a law into form, you do it for the safety of the community, and that law should protect that community, and that's what it should do. Now, as far as the war on drugs goes, I don't see anything that it has stopped, other than it not only has it not stopped, it has made worse because now the demand's there.
Right. Well, they should they should spend some of that money that they spend to enrich certain individuals, and there's people that have made billions of dollars of it, both on both sides, both the criminal element and the quote unquote law-abiding element.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm just saying, American people out there, stand up for your rights, for God's sakes.
well,
we don't have many left.
Right. Well, I think this is another case. First, they tried to hide the situation with misinformation. Okay, they started to say, okay, well, it causes this, and this, and this is what happens. Okay,
Reefer madness.
Yeah, there you go. It started with reefer madness. Actually, it started with the fact that hemp was a viable alternative to a lot of petroleum products, as in rope, and there's amazing amount of things that you can do with hemp and hemp oil. You can substitute a lot of things that you would make with petroleum products, a lot of drugs and everything else with hemp and hemp oil. A lot of people don't realize that all their synthetic drugs are actually made from petroleum.
Right.
And so this is another dependence that.
So it's the oil companies.
Well,
it's always the oil companies.
Well, yeah, it was the oil companies. It was basically the oil companies that and the medical establishment that through their creation were established by the oil companies. Actually, I mean, we
actually have to move on.
Well,
we do.
Okay.
I apologize, but because we only have one category left, and we're coming up on the hour.
Okay.
And it's all you, sir.
Oh, speculative or adaptic.
That's right. And every week we like to end the show where we talk, where we give you something to think about as a viewer. Basically, is it true or is it false? And then but we didn't want to call it that, so we called it this. Is it
speculative
or
apodictic?
Yeah, speculative or apodictic. Okay, last week's segment was the blue whale, the largest organism on Earth. It's false.
Okay.
I know you're on the edge of your seat as to the answer of this one. The answer is the largest organism on Earth is actually probably a 3,600-year-old, or at least they consider it that old, or maybe older, fungus in Oregon.
Hey, there you go, Oregon.
Yeah, way to go.
Your claim to fame right there. Well, I mean, if you want to consider organisms like that, can you consider like the Great Barrier Reef, something like that? Because it's alive, technically.
Well, yeah. It gets into the definition of organism. What they're talking about is something with the same exact genetic code, be it a plant or part of a whale or part of a tree or whatever. In other words, it's a replicant of itself.
Okay, it's a fungus?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a replicant of itself, and they found through DNA testing that it is its own unique type of fungus. It's related to other funguses, yes, but it is the same individual, and it's probably at least 3,600 years old, and it lives in the forest floor, in the litter of the forest floor in Oregon, in the rainforest there, and has been happily growing for at least that long, and has spread out for many, many acres. I don't have how big it is in front of me. If I know that people are just burning to find out the answers.
They're looking it up right now. They're blowing up Twitter. Oh, by the way, if you want to follow us, it's Bluejuju_cast on Twitter. So you can field your questions there. Follow us. Get updates about the podcast. Get excited, people. Good Lord.
Yeah.
What do we got to do?
Yeah. We can sing. We can dance. What do you want? What do you want?
But do you have our question of the week, sir?
Yeah. I know that people are so enthralled with science. You and I are, but other people, I don't know. They're writing toilet paper apps, but that's
right.
I want an app. I want a new science fact app. Okay, give me that.
Well, the funny thing about that is like you actually have to be good at math. You have to be fairly intelligent to write the code for these apps.
Right.
And so if these intelligent people want to make toilet paper apps, I guess they can. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's true. People, I mean, I'm too harsh sometimes on what I consider, usable or not. I mean, I'm not going to say that any of this stuff is unusable, and God knows if you hunted long enough and far enough, you could find an application for it.
Now, P.E.T.A, on the other hand, fuck those guys. What do you got?
P.E.T.A is useless.
But what you got for our question?
P.E.T.A, if you want to investigate an organization, you guys out there in law enforcement, forget the juggalos. These guys, the juggalos, they just, are stupid and, drink a lot. The P.E.T.A guys, they actually, do bad things. Okay.
Fuck P.E.T.A. What do you got? I'm going to make a t-shirt. But anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody that knows anything about astronomy, space science, or everything else like that has heard something about black holes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, forget it. Go find out what it is. Okay, but the speculative or apodictic of this week is all the matter that goes into a black hole is gone forever. It just goes into a black hole, and that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, to find out, you could know next week when we come back at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here.
And rail against things.
Yes, right here on Bluejuju.com, also on Ustream. And we have a little...
a whole lot of railing going on.
That's right. Say, fuck you guys, and we hate PETA the whole time.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to check out our... if you can't find it on Ustream, then you can go over to youtube.com and look up Dwight and Hoyle, and we have all the podcasts right there for your entertainment. And we're also posted over on Ustream. Check out bluejuju.com. We got a cool website and all of the back podcasts if you're interested or need to kill some time. We're also on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter at bluejuju_cast. Let's see here. We're also on Stitcher. So we're all over the place.
What is Stitcher, by the way?
Stitcher is it allows you to get MP3 files. It's kind of like iTunes, but it allows you to get MP3 files on your cell phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's how it works. But that being the end of our podcast, and it's been a lovely podcast. Is there anything you would like to say to close this out, sir?
Yeah. What was that cartoon movie that you did some work for?
Oh, I've been working. Well, I was helping with some in betweens, just a little bit of work on.
But you're gonna get some credits, right?
Well, yeah, I'll be in the credits. It's Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
All right.
I did a couple in betweens for them, and for my work, I will be directly in those credits. Probably very small and very fast flying through that screen.
Soon.
But nonetheless, the name Jonas Walden will be there. I have started doing animations. If you guys are fans of Kevin Smith's, I am. I started a YouTube channel called Smod Cartoon, and you can check that out on YouTube. And it has all my animations that I've posted. And so far, I'm up to 2, but we're getting some more out there. I want to make some good quality ones, so I'm just trying to make them as best as possible and funny for everyone to enjoy. I also have a Newgrounds account if you'd like to check out Blue Juju on Newgrounds.
What is okay? It just goes on and on. What is Newgrounds?
Newgrounds is it's an animation website, and it basically the only thing that people post there is unlike YouTube, they don't post videos there, but they post music, animations, anything that has to do with animation and the production of animation.
Oh yeah, if it's an animation of something good, I'm sure it's there.
Yep, sure is.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, and thank you guys for eventually finding us, because we know no one's watching right now, but in the future. But we thank you from the bottoms of our hearts, and we're gonna go ahead and sign out. You guys have a great week.
You're the best, especially when you watch.